Peace building and national integration. There's no better time than now to talk about this, and it concerns each and every one of us by virtue of having been born in Nigeria, which makes you a Nigerian, or if you're living here. All hands on deck. Let's join Suleiman now for our overview.
The challenge of national identity and crisis of integration resulting from multi-ethnic composition of Nigeria continue to pose huge threats to the country's desire for growth and development. Recent events in the country have shown that there is still a long way to go.
It must be noted and very clearly that what is happening today is not only by the Fulanis. The Fulanis are involved, the Yorubas are involved, the Igbos are involved. All tribes are involved in one way or another. We must bring down this tension. We need peace in this country. Without peace, there is no progress, there is no development, there is no security.
Today, the divisive interplay of politics, ethnicity, and religion in Nigeria has led to rising separatist tendencies from various ethnic groups. Where there is a national problem, chances are that it will be analyzed from different ethnic or religious perspectives. Ethnic champions are taking advantage of the current security situation by making incendiary comments and issuing unlawful ultimatums.
I will appeal to everyone to play his part in the mosques, in the churches, in our various houses, to talk to our children, our grandchildren. That peace is very important.
Efforts have been made in the country to ensure national identity and integration, but some are of the view that the failure of the various tribal groups to negotiate their amalgamation is the root of many tribal wranglings and agitations witnessed in the country today. Ethnic hues and cries of marginalization, greed, and nepotism in Nigeria have become common occurrences. Some say Nigeria has not healed from her civil war experience, hence the mutual suspicion of different ethnic groups and subsequent call for separation.
There's no part of Nigeria you go today that you will not find an Igbo man, you will not find a Yoruba man, you will not find a Nupe man, you will not find a Hausa man. We are everywhere. I give an example of myself. I'm a Nupe man. I have a wife from Delta State with 4 children. Where do you want my children to belong? They are Nigerians. They can claim to come from Niger, to be Nupe people. They can also claim to come from Delta State, to me. They can claim to be Urobo. We need peace in this country.
Some critics say Nigerian elites involve themselves more intensely in ethnic power play than other people within the middle and lower echelons of the society. There are also calls for restructuring, which is believed to be a viable means to ensure equity, fairness, and justice in the country.
Restructuring, yes, I'm for restructuring. But what are you restructuring? If we are restructuring to have strong institutions, to have the rule of law, to do away with impunity in this country, and for it, and to me that is restructuring. I will vote for that because I think that would take Nigeria to a higher, greater level. But if it is restructuring of going back to the 1960s of having the regions, I don't think that is in the best interest of this country.
Sir Ahmadu Bello once emphasized the need to understand differences to build unity in Nigeria, but this understanding must be followed by tolerance, love, and full integration of all interests in national discourse. Stay with us on the show as we interrogate the issue of national integration and development in Nigeria.
Thank you, Suleiman Babajia, for that overview. And of course, it sets the tone for our continuing conversation. We opened up this conversation yesterday. Peace building, national integration, very vital. It concerns everyone in Nigeria and beyond. If you love this great country, if you have loved ones here, your focal point, your good morning, your good afternoon, your good evening should be, how can I make Nigeria greater, stronger than it is at this point? Let us get to meet our guest, Mr. Gbenga Olawepo Hashim, is a former presidential candidate and a businessman.
My pleasure to be here. Good morning, Nigeria.
Great to have you. And I was just getting to know a bit of a very interesting background. Western, Northern, you are a fine blend of both. Has that influenced who you are today?
Well, when you have half of your family Hausas, half are Yorubas, half Muslim, half Christian, for you, there is no debate about living together peacefully, because that's what you are, that's who you are. And also, having lived in different parts of the country, I was born in Yellow, where my father
That's in what state? That's
originated
Kebbi?
from Kebbi State. I grew up in Nibusa, Niger State, where the Kanji Dam was being constructed that time, and you had a lot of expatriates from all over Nigeria. It was mini Nigeria. There was no ethnic group that was not represented in Nibusa. And we attended the various cultural days of the various groups who were invited. And so all these backgrounds. And then I went to secondary school in Ilorin, then went to my university first in Lagos, Southwest, and then my master's in England. And that gives you a very detribalized background. And if you wonder that in UK, where I was resident for like 8 years, I voted during the referendum. And you have Nigerians who have come to UK and are well settled. When I lived in Cambridge, the councillor representing Cambridge, Yemi Macaulay, Liberal Democratic Party, is a Nigerian that settled in UK and not born in UK. A Nigerian with very deep Nigerian accent. All right. But that was not a basis for discrimination. So if you had all this diverse experience, you will know that all human beings are of the same bloodline. I mean, as a Christian, I know that. That's what Acts of Apostles 17, 24 to 26 says, that all human beings are of the same bloodline, and the boundaries of where they live per time has been predetermined by God. So if you're located in Kwara or Kogi or Kano, that's what God has proposed for you. That's what the scripture says. So if you know all this, then you will learn to live in peace with everyone.
Peace is critical. In fact, some people who may not be feeling very peaceful at this moment agree that peace is inimical to growth, prosperity, and progress. And this is our 61st year as a nation. And for quite some time, it has been peaceful. We have been doing it together. But why are we defocusing from those ties that bind us and allowing some others to allow us to focus on the few things that may not be the same amongst us?
Well, there are economic issues. There are also climate change issues, and that are impacting on the competition for some natural resource like water, land, and all that. I mean, these are objective questions that we must apply strong policies to tackle. And when there is competition for resources, sometimes it's usually defined in the language of us versus them. And anytime a country undergoes economic decline, the tendency is to blame just anybody that does not look like you for what you experience. Even in very advanced countries, you can imagine United States, during the period of decline, now it must be the immigrants that are coming here that are causing this trouble. And so people generally always look for differences and identities to blame when such, depending on the level of education.
But is that right?
Now, well, it's not right, but sometimes social realities are not about right and wrongs. They are objective realities that you need to address, tackle through policies. And through enlightenment, and I think what NTA is doing through this kind of program right now is to try and also enlighten people. And then 3, you also see political manipulations. You know, there are those who want to accumulate political power by grandstanding as mouthpieces of various ethnic nationalities. Perhaps that will give them some kind of political base. You saw what was happening during the Trump era in America, where he was speaking to a predominantly racist base in order to build a political base. And all rational people, all civilized people, even the media at some point in time, just had to ban him. You know, there's a time when you will not give platform to those who are promoting division. You have a responsibility as a media organization to ensure that you apply your platform to tone down on these rhetorics. So we can all do that. It's not just a government assignment. You know, we all have to do that. Everyone will have to speak up, say, tone down on this divisive language.
Let's talk about the home. You come from a very diversified background in terms of religion and culture and language and food and cuisine and all and travel. But you have been molded such a way that you appreciate every aspect of, you have a world view.
Diversity is beautiful.
But I'm coming to the home now.
Yeah.
Are guardians and parents instilling in their wards and children as they should? Shouldn't it start from the home?
Well, it also depends on what the guardians and parents know. I mean, if you cannot give what you don't have. We're in a very different world.
But our parents did history.
Yeah, we're in a very different world. And the way I was raised and the way I'm trying to guide my words is not exactly the way, you know, people who are turning out as parents now, you understand, they're going to raise their children given their level of consciousness. Some are growing up in a new world in Nigeria of we versus them.
Even the parents?
Yeah, even the parents. I mean, if you are 40, you should be raising kids now. if you are 40, and if you grew up all this while about we versus them, that's what we're going to impact to your kids. So the parents have responsibility, but I'm saying that we all need reorientation. You know, there's a big discourse that we need to have as a people using various platforms. It's not just about government.
Definitely.
It's about culture. It's about the language of engagement, even when you have differences. And it's also about leadership at various levels. Leadership at business, leadership in the church, leadership in the mosque, you know, leaders as professional. Before you even talk about political leaders, right from, you know, who is a counselor and all that. You know, in the 80s, we used to have leadership training a lot, even though we were under military rule. There were leadership and citizenship training. Even at the level of business, there's a level you grow in business that you are nominated to go to the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. So as leaders at various levels, people understand rudimentary issues of statecraft. Now, with return to democracy, what kind of people are leaders now? And all that you needed to do was just be loyal to some political gladiators, even without any rudimentary political training. Leaders in the First Republic were trained in leadership. First, they were student union leaders, they were youth leaders, they went to Nkrumah Ideological Training School. They read
to build and prepare them.
They were prepared. Most political leaders now are just empty. That's the truth of it.
You think?
Absolutely. And I'm not talking about at the highest level being president or whatever. I mean, even at the level of governor, some make statements that are utterly embarrassing as governors.
But sometimes we hear they are misquoted.
No, they are not really misquoted. If you want to know the real content of a person, you put him or her before the microphone without his aides and advisors, and then he speaks. You get your raw, so you can assess who he is.
Okay, sir, I just ask you to hold your thoughts now. When we come back, we're talking solutions and moving Nigeria forward. Because in spite of our challenges, we're here together at this time, 61 years and counting, and we have to continue to do it together by the grace of God. But for now, let's join Charles OBK for peace building for national integration.
Perceptions of people on issues surrounding many tribes and tongues that differ in Nigeria is an outcry of international interest.
When you see there is no peace in the land, I can say because there is a curse in the land. Where there is no peace, nobody wants to enter there. Nobody, even from foreign investment. If people realize there is no peace, people started withdrawing their investment in Libya. People started withdrawing their investment in Somalia. Even in the mix of South Africa, when there was fighting against Africans, Africa fighting against Africans, you see people coming back. Some Nigerians came back. Wherever there is no peace, people will not live there. We should allow people to work in other states, apart from federal level, also in state level. That I, leaving my own state, to go to another state to work in their state, is not very common. You see instances, if there is any issue of sacking people, they will start with, they say you are a foreigner, you are not an indigen. Schools, when you are not, they say there's a merit, it's not by merit, they have a catchment area. All those things are already dividing us. Issue of catchment area, you are not part of us. So government should not only give policies, but they should also encourage it. Let us see it that is done.
A challenging image of ethnic, interfaith, political, cultural rivalries rooted to bitter experience of intertribal and Nigeria's civil war have been identified as a cankerworm destroying the path of peace building in the country.
Fostering peace in our community or in our country, I believe first of all we need to change our mindset about Nigeria. When we believe that Nigeria can be united, then we can actually start that. First of all, we have to love one another, accept each other, like be tolerant. Most times people think because you are from the north, because you are from the south, you are not brothers, but it doesn't work like that. So let's accept ourselves as one, first of all. Forget about religion, forget about where you come from. Just accept yourself as a human being. Like, I am human, this person is human. Accept this person as human, then we'll go from there.
Government have tried much in policies, but much can be done. Much can be done. There are NGOs, non-governmental organizations, that are open up for peace, maybe teaching peace. They should encourage them.
Escalating hatred, insurgency, high crime rates, injustice, and nepotism have contributed to varied tensions of Nigeria's miseries. Has Nigeria been able to be picking up the pieces? Peace building and rebuilding require moving in the right direction to attract the values of unity, honest dialogue, positive reform in governance for critical success and progress of the country.
Many thanks, Charles OBK, for that package, peace building. It's a civic responsibility for every Nigerian. It's a patriotic duty. And that's the direction our conversation has focused on as I've been talking with Mr. Gbenga Olawepo Hashem as a former presidential candidate and a businessman. We have talked about the challenges that Nigeria faces, and we're looking at solutions because we want to move forward. We have seen good times. We want to have the good times and even better times again. What ought we to do?
Number one, the most important issue right now is to deal with the security challenge in the country. And the statement I made last week, I recommended immediately that we need to decentralize policing. All right. We should have police at the level of the state and local government, so that when you have issues, you can deal with them locally before they fester and become national crisis. We've talked about some level of leaders at the lower levels who don't have training in statecraft. But there is also the question of the fact that even those who are willing, they don't have the right tools. You cannot just be chief security officer at your state level and you don't have any police to deploy when things happen. And this was what we had in the First Republic before the 1966 coup. You had police at the other levels of government, not just at the federal level. Before you process the information in Abuja, things have really gone bad. So we need to decentralize, and this can be done immediately by taking out an amendment of the exclusive legislative list, just the same way we amended the Constitution when we wanted people who are below certain ages to be able to contest election. This can be done swiftly within the next 3 months. This can be accomplished. When you do that, you send the right signal. We are ready to reform. We are ready for these issues. Then two, immediately, we all need to use our various platforms to rein in people who are speaking divisively. You know, we saw what was done in the U.S. Trump was banned by Twitter. You know, it was a private organization. So I think the
Imagine an American president.
Yeah, the newspaper manufacturer association, the editors association, the NUJ, the broadcasting. We need to be very strict on this.
Okay.
At this moment, people have freedom of speech,
but
you don't have the freedom to speak hateful words and deploy incendiary statements that have the potential to destroy national unity and stability. So we can do that.
Indeed. We want to thank you, Mr. Gbenga Olawepo Hashem, a former presidential candidate and a businessman. And little doubt you have spoken like a true statesman. I like your angle. I've learned a lot today. We will take the message beyond here. Nigerians need to listen. You have a right to feel the way you feel, but you must have mutual respect for everyone. Give what you expect to receive, and that way, together, we can grow our nation. Thank you for making the time, sir. You're watching Weekend Do.
And God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria, indeed. A break beckons, and that will take, and we'll be right back. Talking about peace building and national integration. And of course, we're talking about our great country, Nigeria, where we are residents, where we are citizens of. Yesterday, we had the pleasure of chatting with the DG of NBC, Professor Armstrong Idachabai, about the role that the media has played, is playing, and should be playing and can play about peace building. But now let's go to NTA Bakaliki, where they've put together a feature about the role of the media.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, in its preamble, proclaims that every individual and every organ of society has an obligation to ensure a society where peace, tranquility, and development is the order of the day. Even the holy books enjoined us with a mandate to preach and uphold peace at all times. Reverend Dr. Scamp Nwokolo tells us more.
Peace is important because number one is that during the creation, God made the whole world to be one. And his intention is that we all should be one and live as one component entity.
Consequently, no meaningful development or nation building can thrive in a society devoid of peaceful citizens and true democrats who are genuinely committed to the upliftment and advancement of their country. Barrister Ben Odo buttresses more.
The citizens must be patriotic, and they must also have the mindset of nation builders. There is no any nation that can develop where there is no peace. Remember I said once that peace simply means freedom from disturbance, tranquility. Once there are disturbances, once there is no tranquility, there will be no development.
Given a multi-ethnic and cultural society like Nigeria, we are constantly faced with the task of national integration and peaceful coexistence of our people. Over the years, the mass media has played an all-important role of creating a sense of unity through the propagation of common cultural values and giving meaningful interpretations to annual events and happenings that promote unity of the nation. Mrs. Veronica Osim tells us more on the relevance of media to peace building in Nigeria.
People believe whatever the journalist tells him, whatever he hears the newscaster says, he believes it in total. And then he will want to tell the world, I heard it from the TV, I heard it from the radio. So it is authentic, which means it is a truth. So for the journalists, for us to maintain peace in our country, the journalists must be objective, must say the matter as it is, must also have in mind that he is dealing with human beings with different opinions. He should respect people's opinion in whatever he's saying to the world.
There is no doubt that the media has become a veritable tool for national integration, exerting enormous influence on behaviors and social change. Barrister Uchenna Oji is the Commissioner for Information and State Orientation, Ebonyi State.
The media have a lot, especially at a time like this where we have tension, where we have a lot of misunderstandings. They have a need to think about those reportages that will bring about building our nation. How do we make very constructive criticism? How do we bring about positive attitudes? How do we help in sensitization processes? Just like the Minister of Information and State Orientation, apart from dishing out information which must be genuine and credible and positive, we need to be part of the sensitization process, advocacy. And you cannot have Minister of Information without the fourth estate of the realm, without having the journalists. And they cannot build our nation if they don't participate in ensuring that positive attitudes or positive reportage dominate the system.
However, The media, in its capacity as a tool for national integration and peace building in Nigeria, must desist from reporting or interpreting issues in such a way that may give rise to sectional or ethnic disaffection, misunderstanding, or disunity amongst Nigerians with our diverse cultural norms, beliefs, and values. Emphasis must always be on ties that bind us rather than that which separates. United we stand, divided we fall.
It's been 60 years and counting, and we're talking peace building, national integration. We just talked about the role of the media, and this is us, still charting the way forward and platforming our opinions and views on the responses of those who know. And that's how we meet our guest, Ustaz Musa Daoud of the Islamic Family Foundation. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
And Reverend Father Jude Ali is of the Missionary of St. Paul. He's in Abuja at this time. Garke, thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Reverend Father. Now, peace building, national integration. Why the need to have this conversation at this time? Aren't we a peaceful group of people? Haven't we always been?
You're asking me?
Yes, tell us.
I think we have always been, and we still are. However, the perception or the narrative being pushed forward by some interest for whatever reasons is that Hausa don't like Igbo, Igbo don't like Yoruba, Christian don't like Muslim, Muslim don't like, is a narrative. And it's a program designed by some people for the nation to fail. Because when people tell you you are beautiful, even if you are not beautiful, the tendency is for you to raise your shoulder
To start
high.
to believe it.
When people tell you you are ugly, even if you are beautiful, unless you have that confidence, that inner confidence, believing that my parents told me I am beautiful, my husband said I'm beautiful, even me, I'm convinced I'm beautiful. For whatever that angle of beauty is, whoever tells you are not beautiful, you know that it's either that person is sick, or is an idiot, or he has a wrong perception of you. So if some people have been saying for long, Nigeria will break, Nigeria will break, Nigeria will break. Who are those people? Is it you? Is it me? So
Yeah, peaceful people.
if people are saying, and during President Jonathan, it was the same narrative. Nigeria will break. And I was invited to a conference here in Abuja that we should come and talk that Nigeria should not break. And I asked all the politicians that were there. I said, who among you here doesn't have a gun in his pocket? If you don't, how many of you here doesn't have a thug? How many of you here that doesn't have somebody that is oppressing? None of them
Good answer.
could answer, none of them. So,
Okay.
you know, and at that point in time, they were saying Nigeria will break, oh, Nigeria will break, oh. At that point in time, the flood happened in Lokoja. And people were there for 3-4 days to cross over here. I said, if you say Nigeria will break, and God, by design, bring a flood, that say you stay here, you stay, and you still want to come here, then are you really serious about Nigeria breakup?
Okay.
So it's all drama.
Okay, thank you,
Some
Ustaz.
people have their interests.
Okay.
And there is no way those that are progressive will not, that are destructive, will change their mind overnight.
Okay.
And that is why we have institutions.
Okay, thank
to
you.
take care of those
Okay.
nuisances.
Okay, thank
and
you,
not
Ustaz.
sing song of Nigeria will break. Nigeria will. Those who wants to break it, just
We're
break
here
them.
to change the
So
narrative.
simple.
Okay, thank you, Stars. Reverend Father Jude, tell us now, We have been described as peaceful people, people who our strength is in our diversity. And for many years, we have celebrated that. And now, some pockets of maybe people, we don't know who they may be, seem to want to change the narrative. If we already have a full knowledge of who we are, why should what somebody's come to tell me 60 years after make an impact on me if I've been doing things in one way and it has been working?
Okay. Thanks so much for your question. From what you are asking is like, why should somebody tell us something different and we believe the person? I guess the reason is very, very clear. An aspect of it has to do with fear. That some people will instill fear in you and make you to feel that the only way to succeed is when you align yourself with some particular persons or tribe or some interest. It could be religion, it could be some other thing. So that is how people play on other people's vulnerability and make them to begin to fear. So, but then to change the narrative, first of all, I wouldn't personally believe that we are too many or that as a nation with various ethnic groups that we cannot coexist together. We can.
You have been doing it.
Yes.
Oh, and we are still here.
So what rather we should be emphasizing is what unites us.
Our strength.
Yes, our strength. You know, I had the opportunity of going to a seminary that has a national character. People from different parts of the world. Is a missionary society of St. Paul's Seminary. And the interesting thing is that coming together, people from the north, south, east, west, we stayed together, we played together, we did everything together. And I saw the beauty of people from different places.
I will ask you in a few moments how you have been able to use your own experience to change the narrative, because not everybody has your experience.
Yes.
Like you just talked about people being vulnerable. And I want to now go to the home. Ustaz, you will take us to the home. You will take us to the values, to the foundation that was inculcated in us as we were being brought up. Because for me and many who I associate with, it's very difficult to just come and tell us things that, you know, I will be shaking like that.
Yeah.
Tell us the role the home should play and how well we in Nigeria from time memorial have been playing it.
Okay.
Are we dropping our responsibility somehow?
We certainly have removed our eyes from the goal. You see, the moment you allow foreigner to infiltrate your home, your culture, you are in trouble. Now, again, you see, programming, those that are interested in the resources of this country, they see beyond, they are futuristic. But we that are in the wealth, we don't really appreciate it. I will tell you, there is no country in the world that is as blessed as this country. In every resource, human, material, weather, everything. And outsider notice this. Now look at the programming. When they are coming to us with education, tentatively, they said, for those people that are restrictive, say you want boys, you don't want boys to mix with girls. They gave us boys school, they gave us girls school. And the nation adopted it, even at federal government colleges level, boys, girls. Then, again, we have the mixed co-education. Now, what does that tell you? That time, when a girl sees a boy, she's looking down. The boy doesn't even have confidence not to go and approach a girl, not to talk of now rape. Now, again, gradually, they now say there's going to be an occasion where you are going to dance. Then you start dancing, bumper to bumper, bumper. Now it is grabber. You see how those things are being demolished. Now, then the home You have your mother, and you have your so-called stepmom. We don't have stepmom. All our wives are mom to our children.
No disparity.
No stepmom. Which one is stepmom? The wife of your father is your mother. No stepmom. You have uncles, you have cousins staying together.
And all the women to treat all the children as their own.
You will not even eat in your mother's pot. Now they came with one man, one wife. They came with isolation, flats. You have people that doesn't even know their neighbor in the city center. Those are destructive tendencies that teaches you the value of I, me, and myself.
Okay. Really?
They came up with poverty as if poverty is a reason for you to be a criminal. But if you look at those that are criminal, they are the wealthy ones, generally. Business people commit fraud, educated people commit fraud, pastors commit fraud, imams commit fraud, or so-called imam, because you have to be an hypocrite for you to turn the scripture upside down. So what we are saying in essence is that we allow so-called Western culture
to infiltrate,
to destroy the family value system of marriage. Not even marrying 1, 2, 3, which Islam regulated to maximum of 4. They now destroy to the extent that for you to be married in some culture, it is foreign.
But let's go to peace.
They are promoting lesbianism, promoting homosexuality.
Just hold that thought. Ustad, just hold that thought.
Over time.
Peace building. Let's now come back to where we want us to be. Some things may not have been done the right way. Let us chart the way forward. Let now, peace building and national integration. Some people may not know how it was done the right way in the past. We want it to be done the right way now. Reverend Father Jude, take us down that lane in a few minutes.
First of all, thanks so much. You mentioned family. Is very, very important.
It's key.
Parents should teach their children to love every person. So we should have a healthy concept of the human person. That means that every human person has dignity. So you are not thinking of tribe, educational background, religion, or anything else. So you think of the dignity of the human person, which is fundamental. So with that, you can now relate and treat this person as a human being. Then also institutions. We need to strengthen our educational institutions by promoting peace and many other things. Then integration. We also need to create an avenue where people could come together at various levels, either at the level of school or some other setting. Then also we should promote things that will help us so that we can really see ourselves as one people of a nation and not just people who are divided along tribal lines.
Because from time memorial, just a minute to start, from time memorial, we were taught to celebrate our differences. If in my home I was eating rice, I could go to my neighbor's. If we ate rice together for breakfast, I could go to their house for lunch. They'll be eating pounded yam. In the evening, another neighbor could be eating beans, and each family will move from one house to the other and play together. Right now, many children are not, we don't freely let them mix perhaps, but on a final note, Ustaz, your final word, talk to Nigerians in one sentence, peace building, national integration, the way forward. One sentence. One sentence.
The corruption, criminals need to be found out and punished. Everything will just calm down. Don't give it a toga of religion or of tribe. Whoever is a criminal, let the system deal with it, either at federal, state, or local government. Allow local government to function. Allow state government to function. Allow federal government to function. All laws shouldn't come to the federal. The moment you start punishing criminal, whether a priest or not, whether governor or not. You will just destroy, this thing will just die. That's why it's programming. It's politics. They say it's politics. But I have a right, if I'm not a politician, to live well. So they should just deal with criminal once and for all.
If you are found wanting, it should be punished. Your final word, Reverend Father Jude.
Yes, fellow Nigerians, I look forward to seeing great integration in this country, where people are treated as human beings, irrespective of their tribe or religion. May peace be with all of us.
Indeed. Thank you. Nigeria is great. Prosperity, peace, and progress is our lot. And it's up to us together to do it. Thank you very much, Ustaz Musa Daoud of Islamic Family Foundation. Thank you. You're fiery, you're feisty, and you believe in our great country, Nigeria. Thank you for making the time. Reverend Father Jude Ali, thank you, of the Missionary of St. Paul, Garki Abuja. It's been a pleasure hearing from you. Let's continue to take this message to those we interact with on a daily basis, and they too will take it further. That way, we're performing our civic responsibility as Nigerians. Thank you. It's time to join Ada Onobu Peace Building, utilizing the entertainment platform for building a great and progressive nation, Nigeria.
Incidents of insecurity in a country often indicate a disconnect between the government and its people. Whether stemming from religious or ethnic conflict, tends to arise when groups of citizens are excluded from democratic processes or feel their issues are not being addressed. While discord might plague the nation's governance, individuals in the society are using different means to build bridges across regions, religion, ethnicity. One of these is music. Music can transcend distance and time and is one of our strongest unifiers. Language can be picked without even visiting their place of origin because of it. It is no longer surprising to enter an Igbo market and hear a Yoruba expression. Irrespective of differences, Nigerian musicians will always come together to use their art form to create opportunities for national unity, whether to shine a light on societal issues or to just have fun. Music will always bring people together, like the legendary Lagbaja with his famed backup singer, Ego, or icons Onyeka Wenu and King Sunny Ade. Nigerians will always find a way to connect through music. And there are countless examples of Nigerian music artists from different tribes and different states collaborating with each other. We see Yoruba recording artist Asha working with epic multi-hyphenate Kobams Asukro, who produced her debut album and has performed with her several times.
When I'm crying and my tears are pouring down,
rising vocalist Rema, who is Edo, with Yoruba DJ and producer Florence Otedola, also known as Copy.
You dey confuse me, you know get my love, you dey ginger me anytime, any day. You dey confuse me, you dey ginger me. I'ma get you dey confuse me, you know get my love, you dey ginger me anytime, any day. You dey confuse me. Oh yeah, pass the jollof.
We have also seen Yoruba producer and label executive DJ Spinall working with up-and-coming Ikwere singer Omale. There is also Lady Dundee, a Hausa alternative singer who collaborated with Vangelis, an Igbo-American R&B double act.
What's in the happen? What's in the happen? And you imagine we crossed the border, Lagos to California. Niggas stop, ain't stopping me. I'm rolling smooth.
M.I., the Jukun rapper from Taraba, but born and raised in Plateau, who has collaborated with Olamide, a Yoruba artist, and Fino, an Igbo rapper. Also, Tubaba, formerly known as Two-Face, who is an Idoma man from Benue State, regularly does collaborations with musicians from different parts of the country. Teiwa, a Tiv singer, songwriter, who teams up with Creole Santino, an Edo alternative singer. Bella Alubo, an Idoma soul singer based in Jos, with Ezi Imila, a British singer of Igbo Nigerian descent. Jidena, another Igbo American, joining forces with Burna Boy, who is Ekpeye and Yoruba. Mandela once said, "The curious beauty of African music is that it uplifts even as it tells a sad story." And he was right. Nigerians will always be uplifted by good music, whether they are from the East, the West, the South, or the North.
Man, I'm done. I'm done.
I think earlier we gave all the credit to Ada Nobu. I think it was a combination work. Semben, I hear his voice there, and Ada, they did the research together, they worked on it together, and we say kudos and well done. We have our guest here with us, Honorable Yusuf Sununu. Thank you for making the time, the Chairman Committee for Health at the National Assembly, and we'll be talking about Medicare, the way forward in terms of nation building, peace, how our young people go to different parts of the country, what is expected of them, how they can make an impact, how they can learn new cultures, and how they can do it in the best way possible and leave such places with the best memories. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you for inviting me.
I know one of our features yesterday talked about our young people. When you graduate from a tertiary institution, sometimes you're called to serve your country in another part of the country, perhaps a place you've not been to before and you're not familiar with. So sometimes we go there, we get to learn about the cuisines, the cultures, the people. Now, sometimes when some young people go there, they are able to integrate. They have a great experience. They even they imbibe, and then they also inculcate. What was it like in your time, and what do we have now in terms of peace building and national integration? That was the essence for this practice in the past, would you say?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to this very important program. Well, the whole thing is peace building, and the problem is also lack of peace. I remembered in 1997, I was posted to Ekiti State. I actually knew nobody. I had to arrive in Ilorin around 6:30 p.m. I took a vehicle via Omaran to Ido Ekiti, and then finally to Ekiti. And I found myself from there. At night, early morning hours, I was dropped to I was dropped to the camp. You understand? And it was peaceful. Now, the experience was very distant. Up to today, I have Ekiti as my second home. And even right now in the House, all Ekiti members of the House of Representatives were very close, because I believe I have one of the wonderful experiences that I had at that time.
What did you meet on ground?
Well, I met a situation whereby everybody was receptive, welcoming, and then easily allowing you to integrate, ready to come to aid you where you have some challenges. And then if you compare it to what is happening now, even those of us who are in their own houses cannot sleep with their eyes closed because of lack of peace. Insecurity is pervasive everywhere. So that has caused a lot of damage. And then I had mentioned, somebody was mentioning, even the family system has changed. Talkless of people now trying to integrate others into their own family cycle. Gone are the days when a foreigner, for example, as at today, my best food is amala. And why?
When you spend time
when
with
I grew up, we have one person we call Abdurrahim. His wife used to sell food in my village. And I was always served that freely in the morning. So it became my daily distance. And they stay in our house until when he was almost getting to 70-something years. The family moved back to Ogumosho where they are distant. He said no. He is not going to leave our family house. He will remain there. And we were the one that buried him when he died. May God, may peace be with him now. That's you can see. So that's the kind of this, and that is what it's like. The family battle has gone, and then even the mentorship in school. You've seen a lot of people who are from the south coming to the north or not coming to the south, mentoring younger ones, telling them that look, you can be C, you can be that, and they assist them to climb up the ladder. And therefore, they see those areas that those people are coming as their own. So they were happy to move there when they are posted for service. And I'm telling you now, I don't know, that kind of this is no more there. As a representative, we always receive calls during mobilization and during posting to areas of primary assignment. People seeking that please relocate me close to my people, relocate me back to the state, get me to this thing.
But let's talk about the way forward. Ustaz said we should all develop a futuristic view. Some things, speakers have been talking all this past week, and many people are saying that many things we did not expect to happen are happening now. With what we see on ground now, there shouldn't be much delay for what you're talking about, because it's in everybody's best interest, wouldn't you say?
You see, there is still going to be much delay because I said political will. If you have a good political will, it overrides personal interest. It now goes to say that national interest is the utmost in guiding principle in your dealings. Okay. If you know that by empowering the local government, much would be lost to personal gain, definitely a lot will not allow it. But when you are ready to say that, look, this local government are closer to my people.
Yes.
I need primary school. I need primary health centers. I need fertilizer for my people. I need a basic health care package that will ensure that everybody can live safely. Then, as a good Nigerian and a conscious person who is progressive, you now say, yes, I agree. Let my local government be independent. Yes. I'm telling you, when you have that, peace will be restored. Let's say, for example, now all the local governments say that they are independent and they can employ. I'm telling you, the pressure upon the chairman will allow them to open up vacancy and employ people. Unemployment will be reduced to barest minimum. Those people that we are now neglecting are those with middle cadre. For example, now, if somebody has a primary school certificate or secondary school certificate, I'm not saying he has no position in Abuja, but by bringing him to Abuja, he may even make his condition worse. If he can be employed in his own local government, let me tell you one thing we are missing. A lot of people become graduate, and some even to PhD level, because of the support from their local government. Because they have a local government scholarship. As of today, how many local government in the country can say they have a scholarship that is well established that they can sponsor students to go and study? So you understand? So that's what I said. It's one of the most important aspects of government. And even for peace development of this country, we must ensure that local governments are functional.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for making the time, Honorable Yusuf Sununu. Whenever we call on you, you're always available and you always profess solutions. Please continue to make an impact. One message before we go. For peace to reign in this nation, it starts at home. Charity begins from the home, from our schools, from our churches, from our mosques, in the sense that you inculcate in your children what you want to see in your country, and that's the best way to go in the right direction, says Idialu. Idialu is from Garki in Abuja. God bless Nigeria. Thank you for keeping our company on Weekend Deal this weekend. My name is Thelma Obaze. Have a great week. Continue to watch and enjoy all our programs on the NTA. Bye-bye.